Hey, good morning. This is John Johnson. This is Sean Miller. Us in the corner. Come on over, bro. Tanya, come on over a little bit, please. This,
Hey.
this is the monthly real estate market update. We're going to be going into some topics. When it comes to real estate, we're going to go into the national market, the real estate market, the mortgage market, the builders market. We're going to try to hit as many things as we possibly can when it comes to everything that has to deal with real estate. Y'all ready?
Let's do this.
Actually, before we even get started, what's been on your mind lately? Since we have Sean here, what's been on your mind lately when it comes to the business, the industry, real estate, mortgage, etc.?
Wow. I feel like it's been a great start to the year. As far as like new business, we've had, as far as a branch, had our best month of new pre-qual since June of last year. We've seen, interest rates have stabilized some. We're in the 6 to 7% range versus 7 to 8, even 8.5% range at points, certain points of last year. So for me personally, I've had my best month of pre-quals probably in the last year as well too.
Nice.
So new pre-quals being new buyers that are calling in to get pre-approved to buy a home.
And see, that's great to hear, because if you go on the news, news is going to say their only response is negative when it comes to this real estate, housing, mortgage, interest rates, etc.
And they're usually a week behind or 2 weeks behind. So like when buyers say, "Hey, I heard rates dropped," well, actually rates went up this week.
You're correct.
Right?
You're correct. Rates are definitely, they're changing every single day, and sometimes they go up and down. And a week later is a big difference a lot of times.
Sure.
Tanya, what's been on your mind lately for the business?
Same, just trying to get getting pre-quals and stuff like that.
Yeah. This is that time of the year. People start getting pre-qualified right now, which is where they speak to a lender, and we run numbers for them. We give them a pre-approval letter. Normally that's good for 4 months or so, because the busiest housing market season is going to be normally June, July, when people get their kids out of school. People start putting more listings on the market, and hopefully with more buyers in the market, and there's being a better buying season.
And that's a good point too. Like I tell clients now, hey, listen, now's a good time to get out there and look at houses because it's not as competitive. I'm not saying it's not competitive. I'm just saying it's not as crazy competitive. Where I have certain people say, "Hey, I want to wait till rates drop further." Well, what if they don't? Or what if they do? Then you're going to have more buyers that are out there competing against you. So
you're correct. You're correct. And it's one of those things that once people start getting their tax returns, once the market just starts opening up when it comes to the number of people that are getting out of school, you don't want to be competing with everyone else. I mean, do what you got to do, whether it's now, whether it's 3 months from now, whether it's 6 months from now. If you find a home that works out for you with the monthly payment and cash flows works out for you, good. But if you do want to try to be a little bit savvy, getting started right now is definitely the best way.
Especially for people that have contingencies where they have to sell their house to buy. Now it's possible for the first time in a while, to be able to get offers accepted with contingencies. Now you can negotiate some with some sellers. You can get seller concessions. Again, not on every single transaction, but we weren't getting any of those in 2020, 2021. Really.
It's not a full-on investor market. People aren't coming in there and
coming in
20K, 30K less.
But
if you need, 5,000, 10,000 less, or maybe a little bit of closing cost assistance, things of that nature,
it's at least possible now.
You at least ask for it now and and get a response back. Before you asked for it, a year or two ago, you may not get a response back from the agent. So good. Awesome. What's on your mind when it comes to this business right now?
You want to slide the screen? Give me a second. Okay.
Super dope. Ditto. But seems like there's been a lot more open houses also recently.
Yeah, more agents that are actually getting out there, putting things in the market, open houses. Last year was the first time that it really started happening again after the whole COVID situation, because COVID, it went to virtual tours and things of that nature. So it started opening back up last year, but this is going to be the first year where we're really going to be fully feel normal. You got it.
Yeah.
You got it.
Question.
Go ahead.
What advice would you give to buyers just in terms of preparation before going to an open house?
Step one, I would say, try to get pre-approved. So try to speak with the lender, try to get pre-approved before going to open house, because you want to be able to get your price point correct. There's no point in looking at homes that are $700,000 unless you're willing and able to pay $4,500, $5,000 a month in monthly payments. You want to be able to be in that range. It's going to work out great for you. And then once you're pre-approved from a lender, it's also good to be able to give a real estate agent to let them know, hey, I'm going to these open houses, I'm going here and there. Just because open houses, there are real estate agents that are at those open houses. And so it's a good way to meet agents if you don't have one. But if you already have a friend or relative, et cetera, you plan to work with, you want to let them know out of courtesy that you're going to these places, especially if you're going to a builder, because they have open houses all the time on the weekends. And going to a builder is like going to a used car salesman. And you want to make sure that you're ready to go, prepared, and that you're not going in there signing something without understanding the full ramifications of it all.
So, yeah, the last thing you want is be like going to look at a property for $700,000 as well, and you don't qualify for that. And then you got to look at a house for $500,000 or $450,000, and you're not going to like that as much. So,
you always want to start off with worse homes and then slowly inch your way up. Because if you see these homes that are up here, and you got to go from these to the ones down here, it never works. I took my daughter this weekend to some open houses, and I made the mistake of showing a very nice house on the second house. And then the next couple of houses were like a bore to her. And she normally loves open house, but when she saw this house, the rest of them, because I have her grade the house and things of that nature, she's like, that's a 3 out of 10. That's a 2 out of 10. I'm like, that's a nice house, but compared to the
we were taking my daughter to her acting class down at the Strass on Saturday morning, and I was walking. We were walking by the front of the Strass, and they had an event there, and there was this Bentley SUV parked in the front. And I walked by it, and I looked in it, like there was nobody parked in it. I looked in, I was like, that's a pretty nice car. And then got home and I'm like, $252,000. I was like,
your car was nice until you saw.
My wife's like, I like my car. I said, I like your car too.
I
said, I just wanted to see. I was like, okay.
Hey, you can get in trouble a lot of different ways. And that's definitely a way to get in trouble is, looking at cars and looking at homes and on Zillow and looking at, the nicest home on the beach in St. Petersburg or Tampa or wherever else. So good. All right. I know Tanya loves statistics, so let's go ahead and get to the numbers portion of it. I'll fly through these and I'll just ask you guys what your opinions are of them. So we have S&P 500. This is S&P. This is the top 500 companies over the last, I think it's over the last 5 years or so. And as you can see, we're at the highest levels right now that we've been in a long time, and honestly, highest levels all time.
Which is nice for your investment accounts.
It is. It is very nice. Consumer price index. This is going to be inflation. It had a little roller coaster ride. A couple of years ago, it jumped up to about 7, 8, 9%, and now it's even off towards closer towards, I would say, about 3, 4% right now. They want it to be around 2, 3%. The Fed. But as of right now, it's not doing too bad, especially compared to where it was at before.
And that's basically it's the exact direction that interest rates go.
So
looks like January 2021. Started to increase up, and then it was at its highest levels in July 2022. Okay, and then was that January of 2023? Then it went down a little bit, and then it went back up. Okay, we've had a roller coaster ride.
A little bit, but that's an important measure right here to make sure that stays low, because that's going to be your gas, that's going to be your food, that's going to be all your little things that you're shopping for on a daily basis, even the cost of your clothes. We want to keep that as low as possible, because even if you're getting a 3% raise at work, if it's a 5% increase in all of your costs of goods and services, you actually got, you lost money that year when it comes to getting a raise. So, all right, just running through these real quick. Unemployment rate, we had a big spike during COVID season. It jumped from about 4% all the way up to about 15%, and it came back down. And we've been pretty steady, around the 4% mark. I think the goal is 3%. So definitely, I think it's 3 to 5%. So we're definitely doing good in that range. Overall, business as usual when it comes to that. So looking at these last few slides when it comes to the national market, how you feeling? Sean, how you feeling about the national market?
Well, as far as investments go, like I said, that was great. It was a great year last year with S&P. I know that's like in our 401k selections, like S&P is one of the options in there, and that's typically been one of the more not stable, increasing.
Sure.
So that's been great to see. Inflation coming down, getting some reprieve in interest rates. That's been really nice too.
Yeah.
Because it was a little bit stressful of a year last year in the mortgage industry.
It was.
With rates going up.
It was.
Still had a pretty good year overall.
Yeah.
Down here in Florida, the market's a lot more stable, I think, per se, than in some other states.
Correct.
We've continually seen some significant appreciation. It wasn't as much last year as it was years
Sure.
prior,
Sure.
but the housing market is very stable down here. It's historically speaking one of the best investments out there. So.
Yeah. I mean, it all depends on how many people are trying to move to your state, the population of your state, et cetera. And so Florida, people are making families and making kids in this state. People are moving to the state. This is a top 5 state for people to move to, which means that, there's only a certain amount of homes and buildings people live in.
Yeah.
So prices keep going up when it comes to this state. When it comes to some other states, which I'll have some data on a lot later, Illinois has been the top 10 state. It's been the #1 state for people to move out of for the last 10 years.
Okay.
And then you have other northern states that are very similar to that, to where you could see property values going down in those states and the market not doing as well, just because people don't really want to live there. But
It's
yeah,
cold. Yeah.
I mean, you're correct. You're correct. I see people trying to move to the Carolinas, which is nice. You get all the seasons, but all up in Chicago, where you're on that lake and you're getting that freezing temperature and the breeze and all that.
I tell people it's a little weird down here Christmas Day, but you get over it real quick the day after Christmas.
Exactly. You're correct. You can get a little snow machine outside your house. You can blow
Yeah.
some fake snow out there.
Yeah.
Any opinions from you guys on this?
No,
Tanya?
you guys take care of it.
Or
It's
questions?
No, Tanya, did you have it?
great. Mhm.
All right, we're going to get into some little bit slightly better data. More once you comment on a little bit more. This is actually rental data. This is average rental data. And all this data we're looking at right now is national data. All this stuff drastically changes per region, drastically changes from state to state, and even changes from neighborhood to neighborhood, from one side of the street to the next side of the street.
Sure.
That data is going to change a lot. But on average, it is good to look at some of these national data. And this is the rental data over the last 5 years. About 5 years ago, actually more than 5 years, this is about 70 years. It was about roughly $1,000 a month when it comes to rent. It had a big spike around January 2021. COVID changed a lot of things. We jumped from about 1,100 to 1,300 a month. It got up to a maximum of about $1,350 a month, and now it's kind of staying around the same for the past year at about $1,300 a month. Now, of course, someone can have a rent of $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a month, or even a little bit less than that. But nationally, that's where the average is at. Any opinions on this rental data?
Well, I mean, I think that's good that it's started to stabilize and even come down some, because you had a lot of investors out there that I felt like were definitely taking advantage
They were
of,
pushing it.
of the market, of interest rates being low. You had investors that were, buying investment properties, and their house payment may have been $1,500 on the investment property, and they're charging $2,000, $2,500 a month.
Yep.
You had apartment complexes that were, raising it, the rents from year to year to year. And especially down here in Florida, I mean, it was pricing, some people out of the market, at least here in the Tampa Bay area. Like you're saying, I had a client that is purchasing a property over on the east coast of Florida. And it's not on the coast, but it's further east. And they were able to get a property for $189,000 over in Sebring.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I didn't even know there were properties for under $200,000. And that was on a single family home, 2-bedroom. And I'm like, well, I guess the people that can't, afford to live in the Tampa Bay area, they can start moving east.
Yeah, well, there's pockets out there. People don't like. I mean, we're in top 5 highest dollar per square foot county in the entire state of Florida. So Pinellas, Hillsborough County, it's going to be higher when it comes to the dollar per square foot, the actual home values, etc. But if you look at a market like Jacksonville is one of the top 5 least dollar per square footage in the entire state of Florida. So you're able to get a lot more for your money when it comes to that, to being up there. You can get houses closer towards the water, towards the beach up there for a lot less money. It's a great place if somebody's, if they're trying to start a family or they're trying to get a starter home, things of that nature. you may not have to live there for the next 20 years, but if you're just trying to get a property for now,
Yeah.
to be able to say, I own a property, let those appreciation gains, buy a property for 300K and then let it go up to 350, 360K, sell that home, buy a house
Sure.
in the location where you want to be at,
Yeah.
close to the family, etc. It's a great market to be able to do that. And there's other markets you can do that in too, but a lot of people are very location bound when
Yeah.
it comes to real estate. I only want to find a home in this high school
Sure.
area, which if your kids are in elementary school,
Yeah.
maybe try to find a home over here at first so you can be able to get out of that rental trap, stop paying
Yep.
thousands of dollars in rent. And then you sell that house a couple years later and then get into the
Yeah.
high school zone that's good
When
enough for
you,
your
when you
kids.
think about the house that at least I grew up in, is nowhere close to the house, my first house that I owned. Like the
Sure.
house that I grew up in with my parents, it was a 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom. I mean, they were very small bedrooms.
Got
And when I had my brother, we didn't have any extra bedrooms. Now in my house we have 2 extra bedrooms.
Yeah.
For when the grandparents come and one in the bonus room upstairs.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
don't even utilize. So yeah.
Trust me, we had bunk beds where I was at. So
Yeah.
I understand. I was looking at somebody, at one point in time I was sleeping with a sibling. So hey, in the same bed. I'm very appreciative to be sleeping next to a wife right there, sleeping next to another grown
In
boy.
the house my dad grew up in, he had 6 brothers and sisters. They had 3 girls in one bedroom. They had 3 boys in the other bedroom.
Yep.
And my grandparents, they slept in the downstairs, kind of made a makeshift bedroom on the side of the living room.
Yeah.
So people, their expectations of what they want in a house have definitely gone up.
Of course.
So the one challenge around here in Tampa area is like if you're a single person, you're a single income earner, it's more difficult to
Very
qualify
tough.
for around here. So the client that I have now that's buying in Sebring, single lady making about $65,000 a year,
Yeah.
and her rent payment now is $1,600. She's moving to Sebring, and her mortgage payment is going to be $1,700. So, and she's able to do that. Where it's
Yeah.
more difficult to find a home that's going to have that payment around here now.
Yeah, I mean, I looked at the stats for the past 60 years and home values versus median household income. And that disparity, that ratio just continues to increase every single year. So it might have been a 1-to-1 ratio 60 years ago. And at some point in time, it became a 2-to-1 ratio. I'm sorry, this is monthly payment. So your monthly payment with your home versus your actual income. And now it's at a point to where it's like 3-to-1, 3.5-to-1, et cetera. So it's one of those things you just want to get into the home as quickly as possible so that that monthly payment gets set for you. Because most likely 5-10 years from now, hopefully your income is going to continue to go up to where that burden of that monthly payment, you won't have it as much. While when you're renting, it's almost guaranteed that that's going to continue to increase over a 5, 10, 15, 20 years.
And that money's completely, in a way, out the window. Like it didn't do you any benefit. I mean, you have a living, but like you don't get to take advantage of the appreciation in the house.
You got it. Tanya, what you got on this rental data?
Yeah, I noticed that it definitely has gone up. When I ended up buying my house, my apartment that I had left was at $1,450. My brother ended up taking the lease on it, and it jumped up $300. And all they did is change the carpet.
Yeah.
But definitely the market made everything go up.
Yeah.
And hopefully
You got it. I mean, if you just think about it, $1,100 to $1,300, $200 a month. It may not seem like a lot, but that's the $2,000 in the course of a year.
And if you're a single mom and you're already stretched, that's
If you're making $50,000, that's going to be 4% of your income. That was a 4% decrease that you received because of that rent going up. So it's a tough market. How about you, Austin?
I honestly thought that was low. That's for October 23rd.
Yeah.
I would have thought it would have been higher.
What's average? We're also talking about middle of nowhere, Kansas as well.
Gosh. Oh, that's national.
I'm sorry if anybody's from Kansas, but this is national data, correct?
Gotcha.
Yeah, there's Tampa data as well too out there, but it's not astronomically higher either for Tampa data. But
I had a house down the street from me that they had listed for rent for $6,500 a month.
Sure.
$6,500 a month.
Sure.
And it's been sitting there for almost a year. And I'm like,
really?
you would think like, okay, maybe lower it to 5,500, 5,000. We'd rather be getting 5,000 than zero.
But once again, we saw the stock market. If you're looking at your portfolio in the stocks over the past 1 to 2 years, it's going up 25%.
Yes.
That person that's an investor that owns that home, he doesn't mind losing a little bit right now to try and his risk tolerance is a little bit higher because he's looking at his other portfolios and he's seeing those go up. He's seeing that his income from his business is going up. He's seeing that his portfolios in the stock market is going up. So that this little rental house may not be as big of a deal for him.
But my thing is like, don't be greedy.
Sure,
Don't be greedy.
$500 a month less for that property.
Yeah.
He'd still be making something though. All right, good. Mortgage market, of course. Mortgage people in here. It's good to be able to speak about mortgages because that's what we do every single day. And as you can see, historically, over the past 50 years, we had a big jump up around 1980, 1985, 1990, kind of in between there. We're now all the way up to around 16, 17% when it comes to the mortgage rate. And a nice little dip down all the way to 2021, where it got to about 2-3% for a lot of buyers.
The good old days.
The good old days, you know? People are going to be talking about those rates for the next 10, 20 years, in my opinion. It's going to be very tough to get rates that low again. And now we're just kind of settling into historical average, which historical average is around 7%.
Yeah, my mom was in town visiting, and she asked me, where rate's at now? I was like, roughly between 6 to 7%. She goes, I think our first rate on your house, this is right when I was born, 1976.
Yeah.
I think they closed me in 77, and she goes, we were right at like 7.25%.
Yep.
So not that far off from then.
We're back to the average, back to normal.
And historically speaking, I got into business in 2003 in the mortgage business. I did new home sales before that. So in 01 and 02, from 01 to 02, even up to 2008, rates were in that high 5s to like mid 7s range.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
But then in 2008, the Feds started buying the mortgage-backed securities, which artificially lowered the rates.
Yeah.
So, and that was from 08 until I think it was March of 2022.
Yeah.
When they stopped, and that's when we started to see rates.
As you can see, it started going down, down, down until about 2021, and then last year, unfortunately, it did what it did. Or the last 2 years is what it did. So this is going to be the last year when it comes to mortgage rates. It's honestly not going crazy. It looks like a roller coaster. When we're looking at it, it goes up like this and it comes down a little bit, but it's all been in the roughly 6 to 7.5%, 8% range. It started off the year at about 6.26, and these for a prime buyer. These are going to be people probably putting down 20%, people with probably 720, 740 plus credit score. That's going to be the majority of these buyers that we're talking about. But your rate's not going to go astronomically different if your credit score is 640 versus 680. You're going to have access to the same rates. It's just those rates may cost a little bit more if your actual credit score is less. So maybe around 6 and a quarter to start off last year, got up around October, November to about very close to 8%. And there were many people that were getting 8% rates.
And I believe the average rates also include 1 to 2 discount points.
Sure. As
well. So like, when you're hearing, hey, the average rate is whatever, 6.5%, 6.25%.
Yeah.
That's with 1 to 2 discount points built in.
Yeah, you got it. The most important thing is where are they trending at? So it had a big jump down over the past couple of months where it's gone from roughly 7.75%, 8% to now where it's around 6.5%, 6.75%. It's in the upper 6 range. It's been kind of tilted around that for the past couple of months. And it just feels good to have stability in the rate market because we saw rates go all the way down and they trended all the way up and then it came down again. And so to be able to have rates to where if somebody gets pre-approved in December and now it's January or February, say, yeah, monthly payments are still roughly around the same as when we pre-approved you. It just makes it towards a smooth conversation versus, if rates are 7% when you pre-approve somebody, and then it's 8% when they go under contract,
which happened last year.
Exactly. And you tell them, hey, no, those monthly mortgage payments. I know you can find a house in that price range, but those payments are going up $200-$300 a month.
Yeah.
Just because rates have moved.
And we had some days last year and the second part of the year before where for the same interest rate from one day to the next, the closing cost could be 1% higher.
Yeah.
So if the market changes, it doesn't mean your rate goes up 1%.
Yeah.
Your closing costs could change by 1%. So on your higher loan amounts, I remember going home and telling my wife on a Friday night, coming home on Monday then, and I said, hey, listen, I priced this loan on a Friday night, and I come home Monday night, and I was like, the person went to contract over the weekend and their closing cost went up by 1%. And I was like, by the way, they were
Yeah.
buying a $600,000 house. So their closing costs went up by $6,000 in basically
Yeah.
one business day.
Funny, not funny.
Yeah. So we're not, no, I hate to even say it. We're not seeing the volatility like that now.
Correct.
So I don't want to jinx us, but
Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty stable right now.
Yeah.
And people, if anybody tells you where rates going to be at 3 months from now, 6 months from now, they absolutely have no idea. Being able to know where rates are going to go is the exact same as trying to know where stock market is going to go.
sure.
And of course, if we had that ability, or
Yep.
anyone we knew had that ability, we wouldn't be doing mortgages right now. We'll be retired, on the beach right now, rather than
In 2018, when we bought our house, they said rates, they were in the low fives around October of 2018. They said rates were going to be going above 6% the following year, and they actually went to 4%.
yeah,
And then in 2022, they said rates were going to stay at 3%, and they got up to 7.5% by the end of the year.
yeah,
So
yeah.
nobody knows.
Step one is always get pre-approved, and then you can always ask or text, your lender, where rates looking at. I mean, we're constantly calling and having text messages on a daily basis. Sometimes we're talking to the same buyer multiple times in the same day. It's not a problem to us. We're used to it. So just ask us questions. Tanya, what you got in rates?
Hoping that they keep going down.
Sure.
Yes.
Sure.
I have a lot of people out, I mean, I've had a lot of buyers that have been sitting and waiting, but because of the rates went up, they no longer qualify for what
Correct.
they were looking for.
Correct. Well, the good thing is that appreciation has slowed down.
Yes.
If homes are going up 20, 25, 30% in the course of a year, that makes it very close. If that's happening and also rates are going up, that's making it close to impossible for somebody to be able to get a home and feel great about it, because you're going to pay more for the home that you wanted, and then your monthly payment is going to be higher, or your cash flow is going to be higher
Yeah.
for that same home.
I feel like we're getting out of that a little bit.
Yeah. That's just, homes are still going up in value, so people need to still understand that they're still going up 4 or 5%. It's just leveled off. It's not going up astronomically. So that same home, that was $300K last year, it may be worth $315K this year.
Instead of going from 300,000 to 600,000 in a 3
Mhm.
Which is, that happened a lot. You got it. Austin, what you got on this? Anything for rates or any questions? I know you're a question guy.
Questions. Is there like a rule of thumb in terms of like what a change in rate's going to mean for like your monthly payment? So like if the rates say you use a seller concession to buy down your rate like 0.5%.
Okay.
What's that mean as far as your monthly?
I think the rule of thumb is for every 1% it goes up, that increases your payment 10%.
Sure.
10%.
I believe that's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So if the rates change by 0.5%, then it increases your payment or decreases your payment 5%. You're putting my mathematics degree to use here. So
Listen, I got the big brains in here. I want to make sure I answer my
So
questions.
$300K home, if somebody's looking at payments roughly $2,000 a month, you're talking about an increase of maybe $20, $30 a month.
potentially
Yeah, I think it's a little bit higher than that. But
about 100.
yeah. All right, good. Real estate data. You got time or you got to do?
I mean, if you're good,
You can leave whenever you want.
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds good.
Appreciate you, bud.
Okay. Thank you. How much more time you got on this?
We're probably about 40% of the way through.
Okay.
The real estate data is all the fun data, in my opinion.
All right. I'll sit in here a little bit. Let's
You want to hang out with the fun data?
yeah,
All right.
Let's check it out.
Yes, sir. All right, so real estate data. So this is getting to the fun data. This is the actual real estate market. We're going to be seeing how things have been moving in the real estate market. We'll go from there. Tight. Come on in, T.
Oh, I'm good.
Look at this. Can't even see her. She's not even here anymore.
Okay.
She's not even here anymore. It's as if she's doing it on purpose. All right. So this is going to be, once again, national data. And once I get further down the line, I'll break it down more into regional. Then I'll even do some Florida data too. But Florida and the Southeast, where we're at, pretty much follows that national data. So newly listed homes, it's going to be very hard to see the January mark. This is over the last 7 years, because January is only a point right now, 2024. As we go throughout the rest of the year, it's going to, do things very similar. But if you want to see how it's trending, you look at the pink line, which is last year. That'll show you how it's been trending, so you can see the actual line. So it's very important to see this data, because it shows you that real estate is cyclical. This is the last 7 years. We had a COVID year, which has been weird years. We had some years had more inventory, some years had less. But they all have this thing where they start off a little bit lower in the year when it comes to homes and homes that are on the market. And then once you get towards May and June, that number goes up. And then it kind of starts tapering off towards the end of the year because nobody wants to list a home, when they're putting out Christmas lights and, they're hosting parties and things of that nature. Homes are still selling at that point, but just not as much as in your Mays and your Junes. You about to say something?
No,
Okay, good.
Spot on.
So I'll go through these first couple real quick, and then we'll get to the total. So newly listed homes, as you can see, we're at one of the lowest of the last 7 years. There's only 1 year that's lower, and it's slightly lower now was last year. So not a lot of new homes coming onto the market. Total listing count. This is going to be the total number of homes that we have actually on the market, which is going to be, and it's going to be your pending. So homes that are pending being sold and homes that are active. So if you go on Zillow, Redfin, etc., you can see those on. This is all the homes that are out there in the market
I
still.
mean, that is encouraging to see that it's higher now than what it was in 22 and 21.
You're correct.
So that's-
It's a little bit higher. Of course, we want that number to be double. Since we're dealing with buyers, we want more options for buyers. But as of right now, it is a little bit higher than it has been the past couple of years when it comes to listing. Nowhere near where it was at, 6-7 years ago, pre-pandemic. I mean, we have more buyers that are trying to get in homes right now. So
Yeah.
it's one of those things. We have more buyers, we have less supply, and it is going up, but it's not going up as fast as
I'm not
You're
sure
wanting to.
how we ever even get to that point again. I'm not sure how that would happen. I mean, I know like in Tampa, like the only way to build for the most part in Tampa is up. So you
Sure.
see a lot of the condo buildings downtown. I was just downtown at the Stratus with my family, and you see a lot of condo buildings going in, and I'm like, well, that's good for Tampa Bay.
Yeah. So I'll mention this point. One of my favorite things to talk about is going to be. I'm gonna get you in a little side snap. Hey. One of my favorite things to talk about is building homes on your already existing home. So if you have a family home, being able to put convert a garage to increase the square footage there, adding an accessory dwelling unit. That's the way you can be able to do it.
Yeah.
Because finding land in Pinellas County, I mean, you can find some in Tampa if you go towards the outskirts, but even that's getting built up. The state of Florida is getting really built up to where it's very tough to be able to find homes or even land and be able to build new properties. But if you can maximize what you already have, which is a land, maybe you have it or a family has that land or home already, and just increase the number of bedrooms that are on that land, is it going to be for everything? No, but can it be able to give a new family or someone who wants a little bit more space somewhere to go? It does that. So I recommend that. I recommend being able to just add on square footage at your current home. For example, St. Petersburg is very nice. I don't know if you guys have ever seen what their homes look like. It's very crowded, it's very compact, but they maximize that square footage. It may be like a 5,000 square foot lot, but they'll have the main property right here. That property may be 2 stories. Then they'll have a garage in the back with an ADU on top of that garage in the back. So now they have, maybe 4 or 5 bedrooms on a $3,000-4,000 square foot lot, and you're maximizing that space more.
The property I lived in St. Pete, that I was renting after when I first moved there, and it had exactly what you're talking about. It had the single family home in the front, and it had the garage in the back, and the dwelling unit above the garage. And the owner of the home, his brother even lived in a small, like almost like a
It's like a shed.
almost like a shed, like beside the garage. It was connected. So
I mean, that's how you do it. You maximize that square footage by making that happen. So that's what I recommend for people. If you're trying to go on the cheaper route, if you're trying to go because to build a house, even to build just a standard 3-2, 1,600 square feet, probably $350K,
ain't cheap.
with just a square box, and so adding homes is not crazy affordable. But if you can be able to convert a garage for $50,000-$60,000, if you can be able to add on an accessory dwelling unit for $100,000, if you have a family that's got some land, and these mobile homes nowadays are very nice.
Listen,
And you want to throw one of those newer mobile homes out there, and they're very safe, they're very secure, wind resistant if you're in the state of Florida. A lot of times they're built to the state code as well too. That can maybe be $150,000 for a brand new mobile home versus $350,000 for your site built home.
Nothing wrong with it. I'm actually surprised that we don't see communities that are built with manufactured homes in it.
Yeah,
Like, I feel like that would be a need.
Sure.
You know, and they're going to be more affordable, like you're talking about, and there's nothing wrong with them. I remember my grandparents moved down here from Pennsylvania to Lake Wales, and they had a manufactured home, mobile home
Yeah.
over there. The community was super nice. They had like, you know, nice countertops, nice flooring. I mean,
Yeah.
it was a nice house. Nothing wrong with it.
Yeah,
Nothing to be ashamed of.
people don't understand that if you're getting these newer homes, these modular homes, you go. Okay. If you're getting these newer ones, they're appreciating similar to homes.
Yeah.
Like manufactured homes, you know, they might have been, you know, for a double wide, a newer one, it might have been around $125,000 before COVID, and now the newer double wides are going to be around $200,000. They are going up in value just the same way that your existing homes are going up in value. Yeah, your grandmother's 1970 mobile home, that's not going up in value. That's probably going down in value. 'Cause, I mean, to be honest, every home goes down in value every single year. It's just the land underneath it is what's actually going up in value. So even if you have your nice 3.2, 4.2, et cetera, where you're living at, that home is going down in value while the land is going up in value.
Unless you're updating it. Yeah.
Exactly. But that's the thing about the nicer mobile homes is that they don't depreciate as fast as your 1970s mobile home.
Oh, sure.
So if this newer mobile home is only depreciating like this and your land's going up like that, you're going to see appreciation the same way you would see in a site built home.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So total listing count, it's up a little bit from last year, but it's a little bit lower. Pending listing count, as you can see, these are homes that are under contract. And all this is cyclical, you see it, all the same graphs. It's a little bit higher than last year, you know, maybe a couple thousand units nationally, but it's not a ton. And active listing, this is the most important one. This is if, you know, your buyer is going onto a website, what are they actually seeing? It's up a little bit more too. So it's good news. There's still a shortage, but it's good news to be able to see. Go ahead.
Have y'all been seeing like on I think Tanya, I think I sent it to you on Instagram. Those like where friends will get together and they'll just like buy a plot of land and then they'll just build like houses.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? What's
Yeah.
that called again? It's like cottage something or something like that. You know what I'm talking
There's
about?
probably a lot of different names
There's
for
probably a
it.
lot of different names.
But yeah,
That was the question. I was just curious if you guys heard what I was talking about.
well,
You have to be careful, like with doing that, like if you're intending to sell, or if you have multiple. Like I have had a buyer once that bought a single family house, that there was another small cottage, I think is what you're going to say,
Yeah.
on there, and then they also built their own garage on there, and the garage they turned into living quarters.
yeah.
So if it's not zoned, like you need
Yeah.
to check with your county
Yeah.
zoning department, building department to make sure that
It's
you're
even permitted to do it.
Yeah.
you're doing things under code. Now,
Yeah.
down here in Florida, people feel like people do a little bit of whatever they want.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Not saying that's right, but just saying
Yeah.
they do a little bit of whatever they
But like
want.
you said, if somebody's trying to sell it, a lot of times that's going to be all considered one parcel.
And
So
that
you
makes it
have
more
different
difficult to
people
get
living in
financing.
there. It's more difficult to get financing.
Yeah.
If you're selling to one person, if it's all crammed into one little lot, then you're probably not. It's going to be tough to get those lots separated.
Sure.
If you're trying to get it separated, so yeah, there could be issues with that.
Yeah,
so.
my client had to they had to take everything out of the garage for it to be up to code and turn it back into a garage.
Yeah.
The detached
Wow.
garage.
Yeah.
So
Really?
yeah. So yeah, definitely want to check with your county
I agree.
department before you do.
I agree. I get a lot of my information from California because, you know, we say we're in a housing crisis.
Yeah.
They're really in a housing crisis
Mhm.
over there. And that was one guy that was talking about. He now, you know, builds accessory dwelling units. He now converts garages, but he was living with his parents and he was living in a garage, but it wasn't
Okay.
an actual converted garage.
Okay.
And the neighbors got upset with him and they
Yeah.
pretty much knocked them on the door and said, "Hey, you need to either leave and get out of that space, or
Yeah.
you guys need to actually convert it for real." And
Okay.
he converted for real. And the neighbors still didn't like the idea that he converted the garages probably like 7 years ago. And now 80-90% of the community has
Awesome.
converted garages.
Okay.
So it's one of those things that is not a popular thing to do, at least over here. Like in states that don't have that done, they may not look at it too well. They may think, oh, they're just trying to. It's not going to be too great for them, but
Yeah.
over time, when people see that if you're an investor,
Mhm.
now you're adding an additional bedroom, you can be able to, maybe get a little bit extra income from that property.
Yeah.
If you're someone that lives at a home and you just want to be able to have an additional space for a relative or a grandparent or someone else, it does offer some solutions. But just do it the right way, though.
Last question, swear.
Yeah.
Do ADUs count as like manufactured houses?
No,
No.
it'll be different. That's just an accessory dwelling unit, kind of like a
Gotcha.
mother-in-law suite.
Yeah.
Yeah. ADUs are normally around 500, 600 square feet.
Oh, okay.
So think of a studio apartment.
Yeah.
Wow. A manufactured home, single wide, probably 600 square feet to 1,100, 1,200.
Okay.
Double wide, 1,200 up to infinity. I mean, they can even stack double wides on top of each other. They can. There's ways you could, and they make it look real nice. They have ranch homes. They have many different ways you can be able to do it. I'm a very big advocate. Tanya, anything on this? On listings?
No, we're good.
Cool. Days on market. This is the most important slide in my opinion. This actually shows you what type of market you're actually in. If it's anything less than 3 months, when it comes to the amount of days that's on market, so anything less than 120 days, no, anything less than 90 days, that's going to be considered a heavy seller's market. If it's anything between 4 months to 6 months, 4 months to 7 months, that's considered a neutral market. And then anything from 7 months and above that homes on the market, that's considered a buyer's market.
Which we haven't seen in a while.
In a long time. I mean, over the last 7 years, there's not been one period of time where the days on market for any month has been greater than 90 days. So we've been in a seller's market. It's just how strong of a seller's market. And as you can see, the pink line is last year. That's one better ones to see kind of the trending line. And, it's still lower than those previous years. It's still considered a slightly heavier seller's market. Is it as heavy as it was the past, 2021 and 2022? No, homes are not being sold in 20 days and 30 days. But, as of right now, January 2024, it's still 69 days on the market. So,
I mean, it's nice now. I mean, like now, like you need a good realtor to sell your house.
sure.
I'm not going to say any agent could have sold your house in 2020, 2021, but
Yeah, almost
maybe,
anyone.
almost anyone could have did it then.
It was pick your price back then. It was,
Yeah.
All right, you want to go $50,000 more than what I'm advising you to put your house at?
Yeah.
Sure, let's try it out.
Yeah.
You actually get people bidding on homes, even though you just, throwing out random numbers.
Yeah, but that's because rates were so low and it was so crazy competitive.
Correct.
So-
Correct. But now we're getting slightly more of an average market. It's
Yeah.
not, once again, buyers and investors aren't going to come in there and do $20,000 under, $30,000 under, but they can negotiate a little bit here and there for
Yeah.
things they may want.
Having an agent that's going to market your house, in the proper way, having an agent that's going to help negotiate for you.
Yeah.
That's going to keep you calm when you haven't got an offer in the first 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks.
Yep.
Yeah.
You got it. You were correct. Tanya, anything on the days on market?
No, you guys are correct. You guys are hitting on it. You guys are awesome.
You got it. Tanya, the
Very
person
successful.
who's not in the screen. Let's see where
Not
she's
in the
at.
screen.
She's not even here. Just a voice in the corner. Austin, do you have any feelings about days on the market? Do you feel as if it's buyers are getting a little bit more?
No, you guys nailed it. As Tanya said, you guys are killing it.
You got it. Well, Mr. Sean, I appreciate you.
Okay.
We'll have a few more slides we'll get through, but
Okay.
thank you for coming in, hanging out.
Absolutely. All right.
And now they have to actually talk now.
All right. Very good.
Sure you don't want to swap seats?
You can definitely stay.
Okay. Enjoy. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right. Let's see. There she is. This is Tanya, by the way. I don't know if we've seen her the entire time, but there
I've
she
been
is.
here.
She's been here. You can
I
hear
was
her.
here.
You can hear her. She was there. And Austin, he's been here. The student, who maybe taking that binder and throwing away immediately afterwards. Who knows? Just for show. But he's here. All right. List price. This is showing where the actual prices are at. It might have been nice to have Sean in for this one, but whatever. He gave us a good amount of time. Sean closes a lot of loans, does a lot of deals. He knows a lot when it comes to this real estate market, especially from a mortgage perspective. And he sold homes, maybe 20 years ago. So he's been on that side of the market too. But median list price, this has a high correlation to where the end up sold price is going to be at. But as of right now, as we look at the peak year, which is going to be last year, we see that it was higher than the year before. The entire time, there was a 1 month, I believe June, where it wasn't higher. where 2023 wasn't higher than 2022. But the rest of the year, it was slightly higher than the year before. So we had moderate appreciation. It ended up being about 4 to 5% over the previous year. And as of right now, we are starting slightly above last year. So right now, if you look at anything on the news about home prices, this could change from place to place. But as of right now, nationally, home prices are going up.
Mhm.
What do you feel about this?
I agree with you. They're going up. They're going up. I'm hoping, like I said, they can go up, but the rates need to go down.
You're correct.
So then our people can get into really nice houses.
Yeah, you were correct. But at least it's not going up 20,000, 30,000.
Right.
If it's only going up, 5,000, 10,000 from last year,
Mhm.
that's not going to kill anybody's budget.
No, what's killing everybody's budget is the rates.
Correct. But it's one of those
Keep
things.
saying it.
It's one of those things, though. We could be at a new normal. It could be at this little 6-7% range for the next few years. But who knows? I'm not the one. What about yourself?
I think I would
List prices.
Slightly different question.
What you got? Oh, you have your awesome questions.
So, rates drop, right? And then home prices usually start to kind of go up after. As rates go up.
No correlation.
No correlation.
Yeah, rates are correlated to.
Better.
Yeah, they're mainly correlated to the federal interest rate,
Yeah.
and even not fully correlated to that, but actually it's more correlated to inflation. So if inflation is going up,
Mhm.
then rates are going up. If inflation is going down, then rates are going down.
Home prices though.
No, for home prices, that's just a supply and demand thing.
Okay.
How many homes are actually on the market versus.
Which we're all assuming if the rates do go down, the realtors and the sellers are going to want to raise their purchase price.
Correct.
So-
Yeah, if rates go down, then there's gonna be more people that can afford homes.
Mhm. So then it's more competitive,
Yeah,
and then they'll raise the price
yeah.
potentially.
Well, it's not they raise the price; it's
Or
they
the-
compete
yeah,
and make the
right.
prices higher.
Got it.
Right.
What is the? Would you say there's a lag between that? Between say today interest rate drops a little bit, and then between I guess where everybody, I don't know, either notices. Or
Yeah,
Or
if-
gets out.
Yeah, if rates drop,
competition starts.
then people got to first see that
Yeah.
all right, it's getting lower,
Yeah.
and people may wait a couple of days, a
Mhm.
week, a month before they even decide to act on that.
Yeah.
Then it's getting actually pre-approved.
Mm.
And for many people, they can be pre-approved in 1 to 2 days.
Yeah.
It's a simple process for them.
Mm.
But for others, it could take them a couple of months to get their numbers right to actually get pre-approved.
Mm.
And by that period of time, rates are changing.
Yeah.
So it could be a quick process for some. It could be a longer process for others. But definitely when rates it depends on how much it's dropping. If it's dropping only 0.25%,
Yeah.
you're not going to see some crazy rush
Yeah,
to the
it's not
market.
gonna be like-
But if rates drop an entire percentage point,
Yeah.
then you'll see people start really jumping.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Yeah, and especially during the buying months,
Mhm.
June.
yes. You want to be getting you want rates to be either staying the same
Mm.
or coming down a little bit right now.
Mm.
So people are getting pre-approved right now.
Mm.
So when they get their tax returns, so when their kids are finally getting out of school,
Yeah.
when they're finally at that
May,
point,
June. Yeah.
May, June, they're ready to go for buying those homes then.
Right.
Or getting ahead of the market. You can do that too.
Oh, sure.
Cool. Great questions, Austin.
Hey.
Forever learning. These are price reductions. That just means, how many homes are having their price either going down. They don't reduce. They don't have reductions going up. People don't put their homes in the market for 300, take it off, and then put it back on the market for 315. People normally put homes in the market, sellers, at the highest they think they can get it for.
Mm.
And then when it's not moving,
Mm.
if they're smart, then they start moving it down. But it's always better to put it on the market for where it should be at and then let buyers bid it up. But, people will see their neighbor house sold for X, Y, and Z, and they
Mm.
want to make more money than their neighbor had.
Mm.
So, as you can see, anything less than 20%, in my opinion, is pretty much business as usual.
Mm.
It's not some crazy recessive market, et cetera. So we're at roughly 14% for January 2024. That's right, kind of in the middle of a lot of those data. So I see this one as business as usual. Any objections?
Mhm.
Cool. All right, we're getting more regional. We're getting down here. Get some more opinions, especially when we get to that Florida data. So January 2024 for the Midwest, the Northeast, the South, and the West. Similar data, but just kind of breaking it off into regions. An active listing count in the South and the Midwest, they've increased the listing count, with the South having the highest at 8%. And in the Northeast and the West, they actually have less listings right now. So negative 6% in the Northeast, negative 11% in the West. So when we say the national data, it's always going to be a little bit different once you start breaking it down into regions, states,
And counties.
counties, neighborhood, etc. Median listing price across the board is going up. Not astronomically, it's all been around 2-3%. But in the Northeast, year over year, went up 8% when it comes to the median list price. So people are selling homes up there, and they're actually getting some more value out of it. And then the days on market is another one I like to look at. Something this one right there, and it's not going down astronomically, but it's going down this year versus last year. So it's looking pretty good right now for the region. I want to show this one, and I want to get your opinions on it. This is that same numbers, but it's versus, the pandemic years. So it's gonna be 2024 January versus, around 2017, 2019. And listing count is across the board roughly 30% to 60% lower than it was then, and we have more people trying to get homes now. The median list price is around 40 to 50% higher than it was during that period of time. So homes have gone up a lot across the board in every region. And the median days on market is not too bad. It's anywhere from about negative 11 to negative 18 days versus pre-pandemic. So that's roughly the same market. It's still going to be considered a seller's market when it comes to that. Any opinions when it comes to this regional data that we're seeing right now?
It's very interesting. That's what I would have to say.
Would you expect for the Northeast to be going up higher in prices than the South?
No. Would I expect it?
Yeah.
The Northeast? Yeah. Yeah, sorry.
You're good. I'm sorry. Would you expect New York and those places?
Yeah, New York, yes, it's going up higher a lot.
Yeah. It's crazy though. I mean, I wouldn't expect that until you actually see the stats and the data that tells us that it's going up. Any Austin questions for you? No, none for this?
No, never that.
We're getting to Florida. Here we go. Here's Florida data. So the same as that data we just saw, but Florida may have some more.
You got to hand out these slides.
Before.
Yes, you do.
You got to tell you. I'll make that happen. I will definitely think about
Especially that I'm not there researching all these stats.
Yeah.
To know the
Yeah.
flow.
that. I'll think about it.
Okay.
Maybe by Christmas time.
We talk about it every single podcast that we do.
You got it.
Yeah.
You got it.
Okay.
I will sleep on it tonight. Tampa list price has gone up. We have it at $419,000 roughly when it comes to January. Orlando $435,000, Miami $565,000, Atlanta roughly $410,000, and Jacksonville, cheapest out of all of them, $405,000.
I'm sorry, I gotta laugh because I definitely cannot see any of those numbers.
Oh, you can't see any of that?
Any of it.
Holy! All right.
Don't make it like super, super duper big though. That's crazy. Then you're gonna be
I'm over
really
here adding
funny.
slides. All in the name of
Can the viewer see the?
No.
Seriously?
It's just for
Well,
you.
we need to make it so that the viewers can see as well and follow along.
Yes, ma'am.
You know what? Have another idea.
What's
I'm
up?
thinking about this, guys.
Oh,
So I'm going to talk to the viewers now. You guys, are there any questions that you guys would like us as loan originators or in the market to answer and talk about, in these lovely conversations that we have with each other and you? Please post those and let us know what you guys want us to talk about.
there you go.
Then the slides.
Thank you for asking. Thank you for making it happen while I put these slides on 300% Zoom for you. Can you see that one?
Thank you. Yes.
All right. So there you go. We got Tampa. The highest in the state of Florida is the Miami area with, around 565,000 is what homes are being listed for right now. We're over in the Tampa Bay area, so about 419,000 over here. Orlando is 435. Tampa and Orlando have very, very similar markets, so they're never going to be too far apart. And the cheapest area in the state of Florida, at least when it comes to a big metro, at least around 1 million population or more, is Jacksonville, which is going to be around 405,000. Any feelings on that? Would you expect Jacksonville to be that much lower than the others?
Never been. I have no idea.
Yeah.
You know, I
I've
never been to
been.
Jacksonville.
To Jacksonville.
There we go, Midwest guy,
Yeah.
Mr. Ohio.
I've never been
Shout
to
out to
Jacksonville
Nava.
either.
To
Never
the
been there?
States.
Mm-mm.
It's a nice place.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not Florida; it's pretty much Georgia.
Yeah.
Like Tallahassee.
It's the exact same as Tallahassee.
Okay.
It has a bigger population than Tallahassee,
Yeah.
but demographics and Tallahassee has slightly cheaper homes there. But
Interesting.
I thought Tampa did on one of these monthlies. Wasn't Tampa's average like higher, one like 450 or something like that?
Hmm.
Do you remember this?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean we've done. You don't need to remember that. That's.
It's one of the
Yeah.
sides.
I think it could have been any one of those sides. and I
well,
could
as
just
you
making it up.
we showed during the middle of the year
Mhm.
they go up and they
Yeah.
come
Yeah.
down just a little bit,
Oh, gotcha.
just a little bit. They come
Yeah.
down. So it might have been July or
Mm,
one of those types of things.
gotcha.
Well, in January right now it's going to be a little lower, than it'll start going up.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
Hey.
Mhm.
Great questions, Austin. We'll keep you around, man. Listing price versus last year, it's all close to the same. They've all gone around 5%. Miami has gone down 5% on their list price versus last year, January 2024. New inventory. The state of Florida is having a lot more inventory than the rest of the country.
Man, they're building everywhere,
Yeah,
especially up there by Land O'Lakes.
you were correct.
Oh,
So
yeah.
much stuff going out there.
Compton and
I agree.
like the lagoons and those.
Yeah,
Yeah, but then a lot. Oh, and then like was it Angeline? Sorry, I think it's Angeline.
Angeline.
Yeah, they're building like another whole big Atlanta
Community
Lakes.
and
Yeah,
Yes,
school and all this stuff.
yeah.
that's like you said. You know,
Yeah.
you just gotta go a little further out of Tampa. Like the price is not bad. You're just out there.
Once again, location. If you're like, I need my kids to go to this
Yeah.
school, be in this area, be
Yeah.
5 minutes from this family member,
Yeah,
it's gonna be tough if you're trying to,
yeah,
buy a home. But if you want that generational wealth, buy a home,
yeah,
not renting. And you don't want to
Just
put an
stay away from
ADU.
the cities.
yeah.
You stay away from the cities. You're
Yeah.
correct. You're
Yeah.
correct.
A reliable car.
Yeah, get you an electric car.
Yeah,
It's where you can,
it's
better
a
drive.
luxury ride to the city.
You got it. Yeah, more inventory, and the days on market is pretty much all the same across the state. What we have is around 65, 66, 67 days on market, which is all a little bit less than it was the previous year. So days on market is doing very well when it comes to being a seller's market. We would want that days on market to go up some because it means less competition for our buyers. It means that they can better.
Put bids on, get hopefully seller concessions,
You got it. You
get
got
other
it.
deals.
You got it. You got it. But I mean, it's a lot better than when it was 29 days on the market.
Or 2.
All right. Yeah. Home goes in the market and they wait 2 days. They had 5-10 offers the first day and they wait 2 days. This was a nice little one right here. You can't say it.
You could just talk through it. You got this. The next couple of slides, you got them.
Yes.
You teach us.
Yes. Si
Okay.
se puede. This will work. So this is going to be the states that have appreciated the most over the past year. This is a great site. I'll leave the sites in the description
Okay.
where you can see, which states have appreciated, gone up in value the most the past quarter, to the past 3 months, the past year, past 5 years, since 1991. And it really gives you a perspective of,
Mhm.
where things happening at, where people moving to, where homes going up in value. Because if homes go up in value, people are trying to move there and they're trying to make things happen. So I say that nobody would even guess, and these top 3 are states nobody would ever guess, but Vermont, Maine, and New Hampshire all had 10 and 11% appreciation over the past year. Yeah. And then Connecticut, New Jersey, which makes sense because that one stat we saw, which said
Oh,
the
yeah,
Northeast was
Northeast,
8%. But what's the why? What's the reason why? maybe they're all just moving out of New York and then they're going to these states.
They are.
Because as you can see, New York is nowhere near.
Yeah.
It's down here. Which is still had decent appreciation, but these other states had a lot more. You know, if you're selling a home in New York and then you're going to Maine or Vermont or Connecticut,
Man, those places are so cold. Oh my god.
they just don't know, man.
Jeez.
The only people that know about this is the ones who have grandparents that are down here and they visit them. You know, you got to come down in like a February where it is
Yeah.
frigid up there, and come down here. We got shorts and t-shirts, and
Yeah.
you know, my family's going on a cruise next week, so
Oh yeah.
yes, it's one of those things that
Yeah.
we're going on a cruise
Yeah.
down here in Florida.
Nice.
You're not going on a northeastern cruise right now.
No.
Mhm.
And these are the states that had the least appreciation. Tanya, can you tell me?
No.
Just kidding. Hawaii had negative 0.8, DC negative 0.7, Idaho 0.2, Utah 0.3. So there are states that, so when we talk about home values going up, they're continuously going up. Out of 50 plus states, there are going to be some places where home values are not really moving like the other places. And as you can see, Hawaii, DC, Idaho, Utah, they're not doing too well. But which is crazy because Idaho had one of the highest appreciation numbers over the past 5 years. So Idaho was really booming, booming, booming. And then all of a sudden last year, I guess people said, we're tired of Idaho. All these other states, Hawaii has the highest prices in the entire country. And so people talk about California all the time, but Hawaii is like a worse version of California when it comes to home values.
And everything out there, I heard. Everything's expensive over there, right?
Yeah.
What I hear.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to live out there. I would live in like a Vegas or New Mexico.
Costa Rica.
Really?
That's a little far south.
That's where I want to go.
You want to retire? You want to live there?
I just want to live there.
Got it. Like a majority of the year, or just have a place where you
I'm
just
not
go?
sure yet.
That was quick. You sound like you planning.
Oh yeah.
Tanya's out.
She's taking me with her.
Everybody say goodbye to Tanya.
I'm
I
going.
apologize about that.
Putting it into existence.
Yes,
I will be there.
you got it. You will be there, Tanya.
Yes.
You will be there. I have faith in you. And so we have these places are going down in value. I wish I could find Ohio.
Was on there.
Was it?
Yeah, it was.
It was on the higher one?
Yeah, it's like number 8.
There you go. Look at Ohio, man, doing his thing.
They're the
He's
the
wearing
test
glasses.
market for
He does. He is.
for like a lot of food and stuff.
What's up?
Like that Ohio's like a test market for like a lot of like fast food chains and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Look at you. You wouldn't know that.
that's so good.
You were just in Ohio a couple
Yeah.
weeks ago.
Wouldn't live there though.
What, cheese curry? What are y'all making there? Like,
Donato's Pizza is great, but yeah, just a lot
Hey.
of stuff to eat.
I had DiGiorno last night, one of my 5 things I had for dinner,
Man.
and that was amazing. I don't know how much better your
People sleep on frozen pizza. Frozen pizza can be pretty good. Red
Yeah.
Baron?
Yeah. Go to Sam's Club, you get one of their pizzas they made that morning.
Yeah.
It's not that bad.
Get that hot dog for like $1.50 with a drink.
Sure.
That's inflation proof.
You are correct. And this is very similar to that same data, national movers, where people are moving to. As you can see, people moving to the southeast mainly. So Florida, North, South Carolina, Tennessee, New Mexico's in there too. Idaho. But it's mainly the southeast where people are moving at. They're trying to get warmer, which makes sense. And people moving out of, they're moving out of, your Californias, and then a lot of different places in the Northeast. So Illinois, like I said, if you look at this slide right here, number 1 when it comes to top people leaving a state, and it's been number 1 for the past 10 years. I've been there. I like the place. The people there are cool people,
Yeah,
But-
I've never been there.
but you don't want to be there.
Been there once, but it was cold.
Yeah, when you're on that water and it's
It's cold.
got a negative 30
Yeah.
wind chill.
Wind chill, yeah.
Yeah, and Florida is necessary when you got 95 degrees.
Yeah.
You get a wind chill. You get wind.
You can call it a breeze here.
It's a breeze here. And in Illinois, it's called a wind chill. You got it. But California, Pennsylvania, Minnesota, that's where they're moving out of. And South Carolina, Tennessee, North Carolina, that's where everyone's moving to. Does any of that surprise y'all? Or does that seem
No.
about right?
Seems about right.
No, I hadn't heard about Tennessee. I'm surprised to see it on there.
It makes sense to me.
People are really-
Anybody in the state of Florida who's trying to move somewhere,
Yeah.
they're not saying anywhere besides like Carolinas,
Yeah.
Tennessee.
Something moderate. Like
Yeah.
temperature wise.
Yeah. I also know country music is ginormous right now.
Yeah.
Country music folks are finally getting on streaming.
Really?
You know, yeah. In Tennessee, kind of like that little area
What
is.
do they got? Is Nash Vegas? That's in the whole like you know what I'm talking about?
What, Dollywood?
No, but Dollywood is it's no, just like
Nash Vegas?
Nash Vegas, yeah, like there's like a casino. It's like they're building up entertainment
I can.
and stuff to do out there.
I haven't been to Tennessee in a while. It's probably been over 10 years since I've been there. But
Saying it's been a while. I got family out there, but
yeah, it's hip, man.
yeah.
Tennessee is hip. You know, it used to be just country, but now they're country cool. All right, we're getting towards the end now. So, construction data. Man, this makes it tough for me, but we can do for Tanya. All right,
You can make it smaller.
you got this now.
You're the one reading it.
Hey, she's got this.
Just don't ask me questions on it.
Just don't ask you questions on it. All right, well, we asking Tanya questions first. There we go. She's like, absolutely not. This is going to be new privately owned housing units under construction. And as you can see, Tanya came, but as you can see,
It goes up and down.
it goes up and down, up and down. But in general, it went way down from 2008 to 2012, 2013. It's been trying to make a little bit of a comeback, and now it's at the highest point that it's been in a decent amount of time. But we have a much bigger population than we had, let's say, in 1975, which is the last time we were at where we're at right now when it comes to new homes being built. And so it's doing well. It's doing decent. This is going to be over the past 5 years or so. It's going up and it's starting to level out now. But we don't need leveling out. As you saw those slides before from real estate data, we need that number to go up way higher.
Yeah.
But that's also part of the issue that happened around 2008 is that, people had no equity in their homes. And so when homes are being built a crazy amount, it makes it to where, when people can't buy homes anymore, those homes just sit there and construction people went out of business. So I understand from their perspective, let it level out. They're all making money right now. They all know how much they're building and they're bringing in margins. But for us on our side, where we're trying to get people into homes, it'd be nice to see this construction number go up. What do y'all feel about this construction data?
Pretty interesting. I didn't know any of this. I don't research it, this data particularly. So you're teaching me. I love it.
Thank you, Tanya.
Love it.
I appreciate that. Austin,
Same. Very interesting though.
cool.
Yeah, that's a new slide. That's a new category.
Yes, you got a new category,
Mhm.
construction.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get y'all this beforehand. That way y'all can study, y'all can do y'all things. I'm gonna get y'all next time, maybe. Overall, out of all the real estate data, we went over national data, mortgage data, real estate. What's your overall opinion of all of this? Or just one thing that stuck out to you, one thing you're like, all right.
Start with Tanya.
I told you. What stuck out from this?
Not just this, but all of it. We're pretty much at the end right now.
Oh, you know what? I am glad to be back. That you're starting this up again.
Hey,
You know,
there you go. Look
and-
at T.
And we get to do this again, and I get to learn these graphs again because I don't do those research. You're great for doing that research.
Thank you.
So you actually do teach us and the viewers
I appreciate
all
that.
this valuable information.
I appreciate that.
Mhm.
Just a random tall guy. Any questions for you right now, Austin, or any overall feels when it comes to the numbers, whether it's the real estate market? Let's just say that the real estate market, because that's normally the data that I feel like gets misconstrued the most. Real estate agents swear they know what's happening, and a lot of times they're not really on point when it comes to that. They're great at taking care of the buyers and sellers, but
Yeah.
the actual big picture of where the market's going, what are your feelings, thoughts, or questions?
Questions, or rather, can you like say for the audience more so, like if someone is saying, "Hey, I think this year I want to buy a house, or this year we're gonna move, or whatever," how soon would you tell them to go ahead and get pre-approved? Would you say immediately or 6 months?
I put this one on video.
There you go.
Make sure Tiny's in the video. What's up, T?
What's up?
What up?
Oh, yeah, I got
What's
it.
up, buddy?
There we go.
Yeah, so you asked the question, how soon should they try to get pre-approved this year? Right now. You want to get pre-approved right now. Home values go up over the next few months. So get pre-approved right now. You could have some things that you need to get worked on. Most likely your credit is decent. People always think their credit is worse than what it should be. Most likely the credit is decent. But if we do need to improve your credit for whatever program you're trying to get into, you want to get started working on that right now. If you're looking for homes, most people are not finding homes in one weekend. A lot of times it's taking you at least a few weeks, maybe months to be able to find homes. I mean, there was a period of time where it's 6 months to a year. It was taking people to find homes. So get pre-approved right now so you at least know where the numbers are at for you personally. When it comes to cash to close, monthly payment, etc. Get it done as soon as possible. Good. And I'll say overall, I just feel as if
I would say 2 months, 2-3 months before.
let's get Tanya on the video.
Yeah.
I would say 2-3 months before your lease, if for the renters, before
Got
the
it.
lease is
Before the
gonna.
lease is up.
Yeah,
And by the way, you can do this before your lease is even up too. You can do this.
you could. I
can
would
do it.
suggest that you do it 6 months before your
Yeah.
lease ends, just
Yeah.
to get the idea of where you're at. For
Yeah.
sure, our credit reports last 120 days, so you want to put it in. Okay, check out where you're at now. If you're going to move within the next 6 months, and then rerun your credit, and then you have an idea of what you want, where you're going,
Yeah.
how much money you got to save.
You got it. So you can definitely do it before then. But if
Yeah,
you're trying to, don't come to us 1 month before. Be like, I got to get my lease
Right, my
ends
lease
right
ends,
now.
yeah.
It just happens all the times. Like, yo, you're gonna have to figure something out. You gotta go month
because
to
it
month,
takes about
find a friend, find a relative, etc.
it takes about at least good 2 weeks for you to find something to get under contract and stuff, and then the deal takes about 30 days.
Yeah.
So you don't want to leave it for last minute.
Yeah. And if you're picky about location, it's gonna take you a little bit longer too.
See, the location stuff that should have been taken care of at 6 months out.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't want to have those discussions at 1 month out.
Sure. And that's a good thing to speak with mortgage people about too. Real estate agents, they'll be decent about it, and I support real estate agents. But if you're trying to buy a house, if they're in Tampa, you're like, oh, what are the best locations in Florida to buy a house?
Mhm.
You're probably gonna be more privy to be like, oh, Tampa's a great place, X, Y, and Z. If you speak to one of us about that, with the information that we have now about the state of Florida, we may end up saying, hey, Tampa's nice, but you may also want to look in the Jacksonville area or this area to get homes for a little bit less.
I think us as mortgage loan originators, we get that one-on-one with the client, and we really need to listen to their needs, so we can guide them to where they should go. If people's needs are more of school zoning and all that stuff, then you want to be like, okay, yeah, I see that you're looking in these areas, but for what reason? But you can school zones are better out in Pasco versus Hillsborough.
Sure. Well, North
I
Pinellas,
think we have the ability to actually get those needs from our clients versus the realtors. Realtors don't get into that deep detail, so they kind of like, I feel like sometimes realtors will push somebody or will go with what their ideas are just to get the sale and not really look out for the buyer. I think we have more of that, looking out for the buyer's
it's levels to it.
needs.
Yeah, it's levels to it. They look out for the buyer, but for a real estate agent, you're going to be tied down to your location. If you're in North Tampa, they're probably not going to be driving to Pinellas County. Sometimes some do. Some are hustlers out there, but they're probably not driving to Pinellas County or don't really know too much about what is happening over in Pinellas County. While as a mortgage lender, we're doing deals across the entire state and even outside the state. Our team will close deals in Texas, Carolinas, etc. Are we closing a crazy amount in those areas? Not a crazy amount, but you close a couple over here, a couple over there, you kind of get used to what it's like in those places. And especially the state of Florida, we're all over here. So we've all done deals with closed in Pinellas, Hillsborough, Central Florida, maybe even South Florida, things of that nature. Leon County, I probably close a decent amount in Leon County too. So lender first, we get you pre-approved. We go over those numbers. We try to get you all squared away. Because once you go to the real estate agent, you'll be spending 90% of your time focused on the specific home in that market and the areas you're going to be in.
Mhm.
But good. Any other questions for you guys? Any other recommendations, suggestions, questions?
Next time, I always love that segment you do with the refi.
That's true.
I love that segment.
That
But other than that, no.
is true. That
Glad
is
we did
true.
this again.
With mortgage rates being normalized, refinances are a good deal for people to think about.
Yeah.
And we even have I've been researching more. We have this HELOAN now where you don't have to refinance the entire house.
Hmm.
You can just refinance the portion that you want to refinance and get a lump sum. It's like a HELOC where, a HELOC is like a credit card version of it, but a HELOAN is like a refinance where you just get the lump sum. So you need $75,000.
Yeah.
You're only getting a rate off of that $75,000,
Wow.
which is important. If somebody got a 2 or 3% rate a few years ago, they don't want to even touch anything.
Right.
But if you need to be able to get that roof repaired and you don't have the savings for it, or you got to do X, Y, or Z, or you want to pay off these credit cards because the credit card interest rate is 20%, that new mortgage rate of 7% is going to be a lot better if you do that. And now you maybe add some savings, refinance. You can do a lot with it. So I'll add that next time.
Yeah, you gotta do a separate class on just the HELOAN bit, man. That sounds pretty.
I don't like to talk too much about products until I've closed it. So if I close one of those in the next couple months,
All right.
but it seems pretty self-explanatory. Though. It's not too much, and it's an in-house product.
Nice.
So I mean, here at Bay Knight, we close loans in-house, conventional, FHA, VA, etc. But there's loans that we close that are not in-house. That we're actually just playing the middle person for other banks that are out there. And those are more specialized products. But yeah, we'll get more into that.
Cool.
Ty, anything else for you?
No.
Cool. Well, hey, appreciate you for listening. Have a great day. Tanya, Austin.
Bye.
Bye.